Hi, welcome to Talking Trash. Today we're going to kind of review a few things and then we're going to look at something brand new, lookalikes. All right, last week we reviewed which one is hazardous and which one is drinkable, or something we put on our pancakes, which one's waste oil and which one is syrup. Syrup, waste oil. If you're a 2-year-old, are you going to be able to tell the difference? Probably not. Do those look a lot alike or what? Pine cleaner and apple juice look a lot alike, and I can't even tell. This is pine cleaner, this is apple juice. Amazing, huh? This is window cleaner and a beverage. This is the drink, this is the window cleaner. Really close. How about mothballs and lemon drops? Which ones look better? I'll let you be the judge. Okay, example. This is something a little bit new. Have you looked at these before? These look really close. And to a 2-year-old, are they going to look similar? I think so. And which one looks more fun? This one. This one's got stars on it and stripes and bright colors. And so if you were a 2-year-old, would you maybe go towards this? And this is the hazardous one. This is something we put on our pizza. This is not so good for us. So just to get you to pay attention, to really be aware what to do with these. If you have this on the table, that's okay. But if you have this on the table, if you just happen to set it there and a 2-year-old walks by, it's a possibility that they could ingest it and not do so well. So if you have products like this that are hazardous, store them up on a shelf or in a locked cabinet. So now the next thing we're going to talk about, moving on, is how about pharmaceuticals? Do you have pharmaceuticals in your house that either a tiny child can get into, or maybe even some teenagers or folks that shouldn't have them? I would just want to show you a few examples of look-alike pharmaceuticals. All right, and I've got paint in my hand, so pharmaceuticals. Is this pharmaceutical or is it a candy? Is this a pharmaceutical or is this a candy? They're really close, really close. This one's actually the pharmaceutical and this one's the candy. But to a 2-year-old, do you think it's going to look the same? It's really close. So pay attention. Please put these in a locked cabinet. This is what I think is absolutely amazing. Which one are the pills or the medication, and which one are the M&Ms? Really, really close. And so, what do you think? I'm not sure. Actually, I do know. These are the M&Ms, but here they're marked on the other side. It says M on it. These are not, but is a 2-year-old going to know? I don't think so. So, and this one, I just thought these were interesting. These are actually Tylenol, but look at how colorful they are. Very colorful. Those look yummy. If I were a 2-year-old, we don't want 2-year-olds to be getting into this, especially this. You just want to eat a whole bunch. This is not a good thing to eat a whole bunch of. So if you have pharmaceuticals that you have sitting around your house that they're not good anymore, or you're not using them anymore, you're done taking them, please bring them to the Becker County Sheriff's Department. You're able to bring that to them 24/7, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You just go up to the Sheriff's Department and you go up to the front window and you ask them, I need to get rid of some pharmaceuticals. And they will open a door for you and you put them in a locked cabinet. And please do that. It's free of charge to residents. No questions asked. We want to get this stuff out of the waste stream. Thank you very much and happy holidays.
Oh, hello. Today we have Carol Wendels, and she's going to introduce us to a beautiful Volkswagen. You want to tell us about this Volkswagen?
Well, this is Gretel. Gretel, I have a name for all my cars. This is Gretel. I had a Volkswagen when I met my husband in 1967. It was a 63, a little black Beetle. And when he found out I had a Volkswagen, he likes to buy cars, so he bought me this car as a gift. It's a convertible because he likes convertibles, but my first one was not. Yeah,
this is a 1968, isn't it?
This is a 68 model, which looks like just about every other Volkswagen they made back then.
And where did this one come from?
Originally, it came from Hawaii, and we bought it from a gentleman down in Sioux City, Iowa, who had restored it. So we haven't really done anything to it. We just went down and bought it in a snowstorm and brought it back home.
Okay. And the Volkswagen and the convertible, they called it a McCarman. I think that was the designer of the convertible for the Volkswagen.
It's a fun little car to drive.
And you use this one, don't you, Carol?
Yeah, we drive it around a little bit. Not a whole lot. The weather in Minnesota isn't conducive to too many convertible days, but it is a fun little bug to drive around.
Yeah, they're rather unusual. And of course, the Volkswagen was kind of the originator of having the engine in the rear.
Correct.
Which wasn't too common at that time.
No, not at all.
And Volkswagen came out, and that was supposed to be the commons people car, I think it was. When it originated
over in Germany.
In Germany, yes.
In the 30s.
In the 30s?
Yeah, it started.
And they didn't change that bug design much, did they, all the way through, up through 69 or something? I think they still retained the same bug design.
Yeah, so
maybe
then they
even later. I'm not an expert on the
No,
Volkswagens.
I'm not either. I just like the looks of them. They're kind of cute. And the bumper styles change over the years.
Yes, they did.
But the actual body does not move. It's designed much.
Was there a lot of miles on this car when you acquired it?
Not too many, maybe 65,000.
Wow, that's low.
No, not too bad.
Okay. Well, we want to thank you, Carol, for showing this car today. We appreciate you doing this for us.
Oh, certainly. I like showing off my little red bug.
Today we have Wally Morton, and Wally has an unusual car here. He has a LaSalle. Now, do you want to tell us about the LaSalle?
Sure. The LaSalle was made by Cadillac. They actually were an offshoot of Cadillac. They were made from 1927 till 1940. The reason they discontinued them, in most people's opinion, is because they got a little too popular. They were supposed to be Cadillac quality, Cadillac motors, etc. And they were supposedly Cadillac quality without the Cadillac price. So they were slightly cheaper than a Cadillac, but you got a Cadillac engine and quality.
This is a 1939, isn't it?
Right, yes. And they made them, all LaSalles made were 8 cylinders. I've heard people tell me they had a 12-cylinder at one time, but they never made any. So they're all 8 cylinders. Most of them were V8s. There were a few that were straight 8s. 34, 5, and 6 were straight 8s. But most of them are flathead V8s, and they're very quiet, very smooth running engine. I used to get kidded about having an electric car because you could stand and watch it run. It's got a few more miles on it now, as we all do.
Yes.
And it's not quite as smooth and quiet as it was, but it's still pretty.
How many miles are on this car, Wally?
I'm not sure. It says 45,000 on the odometer, but I believe that's probably a couple times over. I've owned the car for over 25 years, and I really am not sure how many miles. When I bought it, I asked the fella, and he didn't have any idea either. So.
How long have you had the car?
25 years or 25. So. I was 25 to 30, somewhere in there.
Okay.
Not sure exactly when I bought it, but.
You were explaining to me the hierarchy of General Motors at the time in 1939 as to...
Right. When they started out with General Motors, it was intended that Chevrolet was the lowest price of the group, followed by Pontiac, and then Oldsmobile, Buick, and Cadillac. The LaSalle was intended to be between Buick and Cadillac, but like I say, they kind of shot themselves in the foot. They started selling an awful lot of LaSalles and no Cadillacs, so they discontinued them.
So the Cadillac and the LaSalle are two different bodies?
They are slightly different bodies, but this one is body is shared by Buick, Oldsmobile, and some Pontiacs. They are basically all the same body, only from the cowling forward is the difference. LaSalle's always had a distinctive grill. They had a tall, narrow grill, very distinctive.
Well, this is a beautiful car. We want to thank you, Wally, for showing it us today.
You bet, no problem.
Holiday greetings to you from Brooke, Courtney, and the entire staff at La Barista in Detroit Lakes. La Barista is becoming everyone's favorite spot to get a good start to their day. A quick breakfast or lunch, and of course, La Barista is proud to offer DL's finest selection of coffees, lattes, and more. Check out the gift department and gift certificates too as you wrap up Christmas. La Barista, downtown Detroit Lakes.
Moorhead to Detroit Lakes and back.
Hello and welcome to the Becker County Master Gardener's Rambling Rose. My name is Linda Prine and thank you for joining me today. I have a couple different kinds of vegetables I want to talk to you about today. One is celery. I grow quite a bit of celery. I use it in soups and in mixed vegetables and things that I can. And a lot of people didn't realize, I've talked to people and they said, you can grow celery? And it's like, yeah, you can. There's a couple different ways you can do it. You can start the seed and you know, start the seedlings yourself. It would take 10 to 12 weeks. And if you have the facilities for it, that's great. I do not, so I buy the transplants, which is really easy. Little hard to find in greenhouses. Not every greenhouse carries them, but they're a very popular vegetable for the healthy, conscious people, and they're absent of calories. They provide important vitamins and minerals, and they're really not that difficult, and they're a long-growing season plant. They like cool temperatures. They do require a lot of water because they're shallow-rooted. And if they lack water, what happens is the stalk becomes fibrous and bitter and kind of stringy. So you want to make sure that they have an even amount of water, and mulching would not be a bad idea to help hold the moisture in for them also. The celery from the garden is much stronger tasting, and usually the ones on the outside are a lot stronger. The ones in the middle are more like what you buy in the store, kind of a more tender. And there's different ways that you can blanch them. Blanching means to take the whole stalk, pull it up, and you can take a twine string, wrap that around so it'll help hold the inside so the inside stays nice. Or you can take like a cardboard, like from a milk carton or something, put that around, make sure that the green sticks out the top so it's still getting sunlight and things. And you want to do that about 2 weeks before, a week and a half to 2 weeks before you're going to harvest it. And from past experience, I have cut it off, just cut the whole thing off, and it has grown again. So it does make a second crop. And it does resist quite a bit of frost. So that's another thing too that you don't have to worry about, like if you have to go pick everything because it's going to freeze that night or something. Celery does not. It survives late frosts. And then, you know how gardeners like to look for a different vegetable as a challenge to their gardening skills? Well, I kind of ran across this one. It was a surprise for me, actually. And as I was planting, my husband was helping me plant these. I said, you know, this doesn't really look like the rest of the celery. Kind of looks like celery, but not. And when I read the tag, it said it was called celeriac. C-E-L-E-R-I-A-C. And I'm like, huh, that's a different variety. Well, when I dug out the little tag, you know, sometimes they have the cutesy little picture. it says it's a flavorful root vegetable, great in salads, soups, and stews. And I'm like, okay, here's my challenge. So this is my first year. So I right away got on the internet to figure out what it was all about. And it says it's easy but rarely grown. It's celery flavored, great for soups and salads. And it says when the base of the plant begins to expand into like a turnip-like root, you're supposed to cover it with soil, and that would be called blanching is what they call that, and that will keep it white and tender and sweet. And it also requires lots of water like the rest of the celery, so good thing I have it all in the same place for when I water. And it says harvest when the stem is 3 to 4 inches wide. And actually it's like a parsnip or a rutabaga that it will sweeten after we have a light frost. So there I go. Here I have another challenge in my garden, but that's what gardening's all about, isn't it? Well, I thank you for joining me today, and I hope you have a great gardening season, and thank you again. And if you have any questions for the Master Gardeners, you may call them at the Becker County Extension Office at 846-7328. Thank you.
TV3 is now on Facebook and Twitter. Stay up to date. Get a look behind the scenes. Join our community. Search for Lakes TV3 on Facebook and follow us on Twitter at Lakes TV3.